I will go to Ireland to face you there, wherever one, man. I'm here to stay.
We will enter, and he will try and close into that distance and enter into the pocket, but he will take some strikes in there really early. So he also dips in certain ways. It's honestly like a slower, sloppier, more stuffed version of Jose Aldo. I feel I will guide him onto some strikes, and as he has been KO'd before, I will KO him once again.
Okay, everyone, it's time for another pre-fight analysis. This pre-fight analysis video is between Rafael dos Anjos and Conor McGregor. You guys must be really excited about this fight because I've received a tremendous amount of comments and questions. I will be answering the most popular. And first, I want to thank you guys for sending in all your comments and questions. You guys are awesome. And mostly I've been asked what I think about this fight. So before I jump into the comments and questions, I'm going to answer the most requested comment or question, I should say, that I received is, how do I see this fight? You know, and I could tell you guys in a really brief summary how I see this fight. I see this fight as very dangerous for both fighters. This is a highly dangerous fight for both fighters. Why? Because both these fighters have a great ability to finish. Now, Conor McGregor's finishing rate is far greater. He's in the 94th percentile, which makes him an incredible outlier. Now, it's very rare fighters have a 94th percentile finish. I think he's probably got the highest finishing rate after... actually, no, I think he's probably got the highest... He's got a higher finishing rate than Carlos Condit, I would say. But less fights, you know, so I got to do the math for me. But it's up there, you know, it's really high up there. And we all know how he finishes fights. You know, his left hand, he has the touch of death. So we can never count out Conor McGregor in any fight, really, if you think about it. Because the fights always start on their feet. And they start at a distance. And that left hand is a weapon, you know, in that circumstances. So he's always starting the fight with a chance to line up that shot. Now, how good is he at lining up shots? He's real good. He's very good at lining up a shot. And he's very precise about it. Now, you know, we all saw him knock out, you know, every fighter he fought in featherweight division except Max Holloway. Max Holloway took the fight to a decision, and that was the only decision Conor McGregor, I think, has ever won in his career. I'm not sure. I haven't double-checked that statistic, but I think he's finished every single fight in his career, all the fights that he's won anyway, except for the Max Holloway fight. I think he's won every single fight inside 2 rounds, if I'm remembering correctly. Now, this is something exceptional. You know, a lot of people tell me he's predicting his fights. He's won all his fights this way. He's won all his fights by a first-round KO or second-round KO. And he knows he's got the touch of death in his left hand. And this is something very unique. You know, very few... some boxers did have this, you know, throughout history. And we have all seen the Mike Tyson highlight videos, etc. If you guys are not familiar with a boxer named Galaxy... And there was some guys throughout history who had these one-punch KOs. You know, there's just these incredible shots that they could line up and KO a man. But when you have that KO power, you know, you also might have other weaknesses. You know, it's strange how things work. Sometimes I find a fighter who has incredible speed, but he lacks this other thing. Some fighters have incredible endurance, but they lack this other element, etc. So far, we haven't seen Conor, you know, lacking too many things. Of course, a lot of people criticize the Mendes fight, saying his jiu-jitsu didn't look so great, and that RDA is going to expose him on the ground, etc. And this is a strong possibility as well, because for those of you who don't know, RDA has tremendous jiu-jitsu. I mean, he has world-class jiu-jitsu. When we're talking about MMA jiu-jitsu, like jiu-jitsu on the ground in a fight, in a real fight, RDA is one of the best, I think. I think he's one of the best, especially in lightweight. He is excellent on the ground. He's a killer on the ground. His jiu-jitsu pedigree is excellent. So if he gets McGregor to the ground early in the fight, it's going to be real bad, I think. And it would be, it would be real bad for anybody at lightweight division. He's got a great ground and pound. He's got a great passing game. He's got great control. He's not easy to get back up from underneath him. He's very good at breaking people back down to the mat. So all this to say that I can see this fight be a blowout either way. I can see RDA win in round 1, and I can see Conor McGregor win in round 1. So this fight, I think, is going to be a one-sided affair. If it ends in round 1. If it ends in round 1, it's going to be a one-sided affair. Now, if it drags on to later rounds, it's going to be a one-sided affair, but for RDA. You know, RDA is going to If this fight goes in round 3, round 4, round 5, I think it's because it's going RDA's way. Rafael dos Anjos has won many decisions. He knows how to fight in round 4 and 5, and I'm sure Conor McGregor wouldn't be, he wouldn't be the least bit confused at round 4 and 5. But if we get to round 4 and 5, if we get to the championship rounds, it's probably because for some reason the death card that McGregor holds, that trump card, the death touch of his left hand is not working. And I'll give you a few possibilities of why it might not work for him on fight night, because we've seen RDA fight southpaws before, and we've seen him trash that leg. We've seen him trash that lead leg. We've seen him land incredible kicks, and he's a good kicker. And we've seen him use the pedelada or the scissor knee, as you guys might know it. He hit Benson Henderson with it really bad, dropped him, and then caught him with a nice little short shot on his way back up, and ended up winning a TKO. That scissor knee is extremely dangerous, and his knee against Donald Cerrone was very impressive. Once they tied up, he demonstrated a strong ability to use the knees and kicks from Muay Thai. Now, we all know Conor's a great puncher, and I believe Conor's a better puncher than RDA. And for me, there's no comparison. Conor McGregor is a much better puncher than RDA. In my opinion, he's a much better puncher. If this was a boxing match, Conor McGregor, I'd bet a lot on Conor McGregor. Not that I'm a gambling man, but I would think Conor McGregor is going to win that fight. But when it comes to sheer Muay Thai, it's a different game. With the knees, the elbows, the low kicks, the body kicks of RDA are crippling. Make no mistake about it. The stance of Conor McGregor may very highly clash. It may very badly clash with the low kicks and body kicks of RDA. I wouldn't be surprised if RDA's kicks change the whole outlook of the fight. And I wouldn't be surprised if just 1 or 2 takedowns from RDA can really change the entire complexion of the fight. So you guys see where I'm at here. I'm thinking Conor can land one punch and the fight didn't even get started, and I can see RDA just crush that leg or get a quick takedown, and then again that death card just will never be put on the table. Why? Because when you get taken down and you get mauled by a big strong guy with good elbows, and you start to lose that power, that one punch power. And I know Mendes took him down and he got up and he still had that one punch power, but Mendes was fading as well from the top position. He's a smaller guy, he's an incredible wrestler, he's an incredible athlete. But Dos Anjos is bigger and more seasoned in jiu-jitsu. Dos Anjos will not get tired grappling. I don't care if you put a fighter on him and mount. I don't care if you put a fighter on him on his back and start them there. Dos Anjos will not get tired in the grappling exchanges. He can do 20 rounds. Literally, he could do 20 rounds. If he had to go to the death and he had to do 20 rounds, he would do 20 rounds of jiu-jitsu. He will not fade. He will not get tired on the ground. But I don't think Conor is going to get tired from grappling. It's the elbows. It's the punishing strikes. You cannot use that left hand on your back. Okay, we all know that it's not very effective to punch off your back. Some people think it's a strong option. It's an okay option. It's not a fight winner. It's not a fight winner. So RDA may spoil the party real quick for Conor. 2 big options, I would say, is if he lands powerful kicks, body or leg. He's got a tremendous body kick as well, which I think should be very, very a very big component of this fight is Dos Anjos' body kick. So what I'm telling you guys is, if it ends in the first round, anybody can win it. Anybody can win in the first round. If it goes past round 2, if we go in round 3, the odds are going to heavily shift in RDA's favor. Now, we all have heard that Rafael Cordero is saying that he wants to take the fight in later rounds. He's getting RDA ready to take him in later rounds, and they're saying they want to punish Conor, they want to teach him a lesson, etc. And that might be true, but it's also a wiser choice than what Jose Aldo opted for. Jose Aldo is a tremendous fighter. He's fought 5 rounds before, and I think he knows what a 5-round fight can do. And it's a very tricky thing, a 5-round fight. Sometimes it's a very tough physical. It's a physically tough thing to go 5 rounds, really hard 5 rounds, and not a lot of people have the stamina and the durability to go 5 rounds hard with 4-ounce gloves. And when he fought Conor McGregor, it seems like he just threw caution to the wind and leaped in on incredible counterpuncher in Conor McGregor. And I think RDA now, after having seen that fight, won't make the same mistake. You know, he won't let the trash talk get to him, and he will be patient. He will be more patient in this fight than Jose Aldo, and I think that will make all the difference. And if Conor ever fights Jose Aldo again, I'm sure Jose will be more cautious, and he'll try to work more Muay Thai and more clinching, more wrestling, and being very wary of that left hand, of course, because we've all now understood something really clear. You know, if you get hit clean by Conor McGregor by his left hand, you know, you're gonna go down. You know, you're gonna go down, and everybody knows it now. And this is something that is plays in the favor of RDA. You know, RDA now knows that left hand is everything. He needs to avoid that left hand at all costs. Now, when you think about the touch of death, you know, you gotta mention Dan Henderson. You know, the H-bomb. You know, he had such a powerful shot. And of course, when he, you know, Dan Henderson hits really hard, absolutely, no doubt about it. He knocked out so many guys, but he's nowhere near as precise as Conor. He's nowhere near as precise as Conor, but he's also a lot harder to wrestle than Conor. Now, has a guy like Dan Henderson ever lost? Absolutely. Have guys been able to avoid his H-bomb? Absolutely. You know, Jake Shields did it, etc. There are ways to get around these type of punches. Does RDA have the tools to get around Conor McGregor's left hand? I think he does. It's going to be a battle. It's all going to be a battle. And the number one component is, can RDA bypass that left hand? And if he does, he should win. But for all of you who are hoping Conor McGregor doesn't win, I got to tell you, Conor McGregor is extremely precise and he's extremely well calculated. So for me, in the first 2 rounds, as always, the history of Conor McGregor shows he can knock out any man, and he's extremely dangerous. If it goes past 2 rounds, I think the odds of RDA winning exponentially rise. Exponentially. And I'm talking about like 80-20. But in the first 2 rounds, I got to put it at 50-50. I have no idea who's going to land first. Who's going to land big first. If RDA lands a body kick or crushes that lead leg, if he somehow finds a takedown, or I shouldn't say somehow finds a takedown. RDA's takedowns are pristine. They're great. He can easily score a takedown. It wouldn't shock me at all. But again, this is such a volatile fight. Whoever takes it in his realm in round number 1 and 2 will win. If whoever controls round number 1 and round number 2 will win this fight. So with that said, guys, I'm going to take the first comment or question, and let's get it going. So this first one here is Mock Chronic. Do you believe that due to RDA training at King's MMA under the great Rafael Cordero, he will sort of obligated to strike on behalf of his coach to prove a point? I hope that made sense. It's something I've been wondering about. Thank you. What this question is saying is, because he trains at King's MMA and Rafael Cordero is mainly a striking coach, or he has a Muay Thai background, do I feel, I'm being asked here if I feel that he'll stand to prove a point. I don't think he'll stand to prove a point. I think he'll stand because he thinks he needs it to set up his takedowns. And I don't think he's crazy. RDA is not crazy. RDA doesn't want to give a chance to Conor to land that left. He doesn't want to end up knocked out. He'll do anything to win this fight. He's not going to do something foolish, I don't think. I think he learned. After he saw what happened with the Aldo fight, I think he learned not to play with fire. And I think he's going to use his striking to either chop the leg, chop the body with the kicks and knees. He's probably going to use the pedelada. He's going to use the switch knee to back Conor up, and he'll eventually score that takedown. Even if he's hurting Conor with the strikes, I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the fight down. And he said he wants to drag the fight in later rounds, and he's going to punish Conor. So if he's really true of those words, he'll want to take him down and hold him down and beat him up and soften Conor up so he could torture him. But I really don't see RDA going in striking mode only and throwing his strikes out the window, which I think Jose Aldo kind of did. You know, I think Jose Aldo's got tremendous takedowns. If you look at his double leg, he's got a quick and powerful double, and he scored some beautiful double legs. in his past fights, but he didn't use it. It didn't look like he was even on his mind, I should say. I know the fight was only 13 seconds. I understand that, but he didn't look like it was even an option. And I've seen Jose Aldo do that in the past, where he just doesn't use his takedowns in certain fights where I think he could have scored takedowns because he's got a tremendous jiu-jitsu. But RDA won't do the same thing. RDA is gonna use his takedowns. If he sees an opportunity for a takedown, believe you me, he will take that takedown. I strongly believe it. Next one here. Akeem Wood, how long do you think it will be before RDA goes for the takedown? Hopefully he doesn't do it. Ryan Bader, as soon as he sees one, the first opportunity for a takedown, he's going to take it down to the ground, and he's going to look to control and rain down elbows and ground and pound. Next one here. Jesus Estrada, dear Firas, will Conor possess enough one-punch power in the lightweight division to KO RDA? If you were RDA's head coach, what were your best plans for victory? Thanks for doing these videos. My pleasure. Yes, Conor McGregor has the power to knock out lightweights. I really believe that. I think he has the death touch. He could knock out a lightweight. It won't make a difference whether he hits a lightweight or a flyweight, a featherweight. Not that much of a difference. Okay, not that much of a difference, because if you look at those KOs he's been landing, it's these guys are out. You know, these guys are not just wobbly. They're out. So yes, he has more than enough power to knock out a lightweight. J24 Music, what is your honest, unbiased prediction for this fight? Guys, I already gave it to you. Thank you, J24 Music. It's just watch the beginning of this video, buddy. Thank you. Next, Ultimate HIBZ. Is RDA really a bum version of Aldo? What? Is he a bum version of Aldo? No, he's not a bum version of Aldo. But I understand what Conor means by that. I think that he has the same kind of style as as Aldo. You know, he's more of a compact fighter, lots of low kicking, Muay Thai, pedelada. They both do pedelada. The switch knee is the pedelada. They both, swing really hard. They're both sluggers. You know, they're both big punchers. But RDA has something special. He's got a phenomenal offensive wrestling. Phenomenal. And now Jose has got some explosive doubles and this and that, but he's nowhere near the offensive wrestler that RDA is. Now, with that said, Aldo, in my opinion, was faster. I agree with Conor McGregor that Jose Aldo is faster than RDA. There's no question in my mind. And yes, RDA is slower. Probably doesn't hit much harder than Jose Aldo. I don't think, I think they're both hard hitters. When I say that, I mean about the punches. I think Jose Aldo's punching power is probably very close to RDA, but RDA has something very unique that Jose Aldo does not have. And mark my words, this is something very, very special. RDA is a punishing kicker. And I know Jose Aldo's a punishing kicker too. RDA is more violent with his kicks. His body kicks, his leg kicks, and his body kicks, I think, are better than Aldo's. So I agree with Conor that he's a more stuffed up puncher. He's a more slower puncher. He's more sloppy with his hands. Yes, I agree. Jose Aldo was more precise. Jose Aldo was quicker with his hands. Jose Aldo, when we're talking about his hands, was more calculated. But RDA is more powerful with his legs. His powerful body kicks really impressed me. His powerful knees, his powerful leg kicks, I think, were even better than Aldo's. And I know Aldo's were amazing, but he was a featherweight at lightweight. I don't think Aldo would be as dangerous with his low kicks as RDA. Now, don't forget, if you think about it, could you imagine if RDA fought Chad Mendes, or if RDA fought, all of Aldo's opponents? His body kicks and his knees and his low kicks would be more crippling than what Aldo did. I don't think many of them could withstand it. I don't think any featherweight can withstand the body kicks of Rafael dos Anjos. So think about it. The first featherweight to go and fight RDA will be Conor McGregor. Can Conor McGregor withstand those body kicks, those low kicks? I don't think Conor McGregor has ever seen a body kicker and a low kicker like RDA. He did see Jose Aldo, but Jose Aldo never got a chance to kick. Those body kicks, those knees will make a huge difference in this fight. If RDA is wise, he will not get in a boxing match with Conor McGregor. Next one. Vineeth V. Does movement play a role in Conor McGregor's advantage? Yes, I would say yes. Conor McGregor is very, very slick in his movement. He's going to be hard to hit. But one thing Conor McGregor does that I think is it's gonna clash with the style of RDA, and in a bad way for Conor. Is he dips his head, he ducks his head. He remember when he threw the straight left to to Jose Aldo's chest, he dipped down. If you do that with a body kicker, if you do that with a guy like RDA, you might get kicked right in the chin. I mean, this is a very dangerous thing to do in a Muay Thai fight. Now, how many times have you seen a Muay Thai fighter duck his head, bob and weave, drop it? Never, never. If you did that in a Muay Thai fight, your coaches would kick your ass. You know, your coaches would be furious with you. Conor McGregor is an excellent, excellent boxer. He has beautiful kicks, like Taekwondo style kicks, kickboxing style kicks, Taekwondo mostly, I would say. And these are great. These are great things. He's blending boxing with Taekwondo. I love it. It's a beautiful style. But you gotta know that when you go up against a Thai fighter, it will clash heavily, and those movements might get you in some trouble. So hopefully for Conor, he's addressed that. You know, he's brought in some Thai guys and he's addressing these issues. But if he hasn't, it could be something that surprises him. Next question here, Winston Hung, sorry. Hey Firas, what do you think of RDA's striking ability compared to Conor's previous opponents? No doubt he's a big, strong guy who bullied his last 3 opponents and got the title, but something still seems to be missing. I'm not convinced that it's as good as others make it out to be. He seems to telegraph his strikes and move predictably, moves in predictable ways that could be exploited. I agree with you. You know, his hands are more predictable, I would say. His kicks are awesome. His knees are awesome. His clinching, you know, he caught Cerrone in a beautiful transition. He caught him in a tight plum and kneed him to the body, which was not an easy thing to do to Cerrone, because Cerrone's Muay Thai is excellent as well. This is all stuff that's going to bother McGregor, I think. But I don't think that. I think if you put RDA versus all the opponents McGregor had, let's just put Aldo to the side for now, because I think it just make more sense. Put Aldo to the side just for now. If he fought Mendez, if he fought Dustin Poirier, if he fought all the guys that Conor fought, you know, Seaver and all these, I think, you know, the odds of RDA finishing the fights are high, in my opinion. You know, they're high. He's a dangerous guy. And I'm saying him fighting them as a lightweight. Don't forget. Him fighting these featherweights as a lightweight. You know, picture them making 145 and him making 155, and the next day they're fighting each other. It would be a nasty sight, and I think RDA would mow through all of them. And he's just a bigger, stronger, hard striker. He's a hard hitter. And even if he fought Jose Aldo, I think Jose Aldo would have a hard night against a powerful RDA. So, yes, he has disadvantages. I think it's his head movement and his hands. He's not as fluid as Conor. Conor's boxing is better, significantly better. But if it's not a boxing match, if it's a kickboxing match, a Muay Thai fight, so to speak, RDA he's gonna do some damage. Elias Cope, dear Firas, do you agree with me that RDA's chance winning the fight with his stand-up game are highly probable? I think Conor is more creative and more quicker than RDA, so I hope that we will see some nice BJJ in this fight. I think RDA should not begin too wild, but counter-attacking very quick with many takedowns, heavy strikes to the body, head, and strong leg kicks. He must bring the fight in the deep waters and get the sub, otherwise he will lose certainly. Sincerely yours, Elias from Berlin. Well, Elias, I gotta say I don't agree 100% with what you're saying. I think RDA's stand-up is very good. It's very solid. It's just that Conor's got that death card. In round 1, round 2, RDA would be wise to stay away from that left hand. Very wise. Round 3, 4, and 5, I think he'll be more comfortable striking, and his Muay Thai will start to shine. Early on, round number 1, round number 2, Conor might put his lights out. Yes, this is very true. But round 3, 4, and 5, I think RDA's striking is going to shine. And again, we've never seen Conor really striking in the later rounds. We've never seen it, except for the Max Holloway fight. Of course, he had a torn ACL and started getting takedowns. And, he scored some nice, excellent takedowns, actually, in that fight. And he had a torn ACL, so I don't think he could strike so much. But with RDA, it's going to be tough. Round 3, 4, and 5 is going to be tough. Can Conor McGregor, in my mind, the only question is, can Conor McGregor get it done in 10 minutes? That's the one question. If you believe that Conor McGregor can finish RDA in 10 minutes, within 10 minutes, there's no reason not to believe Conor is gonna win. In my mind, it's a 50-50 chance. I'm not sure. I really don't know. Next question. Tyler Henderson, how do you think this fight will affect Conor McGregor mentally if he loses, especially if he gets finished? Well, I think it'll bum him out. I think it'll bother him, but he'll still be featherweight champ. Don't forget, he'll still be featherweight champ. There's no downside to this fight, really. And the only downside is if he gets injured. There's only downside. Also, I would say another thing is if he gets badly punished. Now, if you get badly punished, you might never be the same. And I mean, if you take a beating and you're psychologically affected by it, you hesitate the next time you get in the octagon. You start getting, some fighters, they get such a bad beating, they have anxiety that when they think about fighting or signing the next fight or the days coming, when the fight gets closer, they start to get this anxiety, this craziness in their mind. It can happen to you. It can happen to you. I mean, if you have a broken jaw, broken bone, broken ribs, and you got beat really bad and the fight didn't go your way, it could affect you psychologically. But Conor seems to me to be very strong mentally. So even if he had a loss at lightweight, I think he would just say, hey, I tried my best. I'm one of the few who, he would look at it positively, one of the few who gave it a shot. I'll be back at lightweight, but I'm going to go back down and defend my lightweight title. I don't think he would see too much of a downside. The only thing is that if he gets blown out of the water and injured, that would be a hard thing for him to swallow, because everybody would be reminding him. Everybody would jump on his throat to try to make him, eat his words, so to speak. But if you put up a hard fight and he did his best, I don't think people can really look down on him, because he's fighting in a weight class up. Don't forget that. People are not many people are doing that. So that's my answer. Jenna Brown, I believe RDA's strength and power, along with his grappling ability and ever-improving striking, will pose major problems for Conor, especially if RDA can mix his striking with his grappling effectively. What are your thoughts, and what game plan would you make for RDA? Well, for sure, his grappling is world class, and I don't think anybody in lightweight would do a good job underneath RDA. Not because I mean, it would be a disadvantageous position for anybody. If he does get there against Conor, it's going to be a tough thing to recover from for Conor, I think. Next one, John Vigil. RDA has to fight like he did against Diaz, yet at the same time like he fought against Pettis. I would agree. If he did a beautiful job chopping the leg against Diaz. I really thought he did a good job low kicking. And Diaz has more of a boxing stance, and he does expose that lead leg, and he's a southpaw like Conor, and I think Conor is gonna have to deal with that low kick. How is Conor gonna deal with that low kick? He's not in position really to check it because he's so wide. His stance is so wide. And when you stand in the wide stances, it's because you want to favor your boxing. And I think Conor wants to favor his boxing. How is he going to stop that low kick? I think personally he's going to throw the left real hard. So because they're both southpaws, if RDA throws that left kick to his lead leg, to Conor's lead right leg, Conor's going to fire that cannon, that left hand, that death card of his. And if it lands, it can do a good job. But if it doesn't, RDA is going to crush his leg. So he better have a good counter ready for that low kick, because RDA is going to hit that low kick as hard as he can. So again, what do you think is going to win? The left hand of Conor McGregor or that low kick of RDA? It's going to be tricky. I think in the early rounds that left hand could be very problematic for RDA. But if it goes past round 1 and 2, like I said before, that low kick is going to be there all night long, and it's going to be a hard night for Conor's leg. Okay, next one. I think I might make this the last one, guys. Actually, no, I still got some time left, so we're going to bang out a few more. As both fighters use predominantly southpaw stance, will this have much of an effect for RDA scoring a takedown? In addition, will this be a factor for Conor landing strikes? This is from Scribblers. Conor McGregor's fought a southpaw before. He fought Dustin Poirier. He didn't seem to have any discomfort at all. These guys are such a high level when it comes to striking. I'm sure they're sparring with southpaws on a regular basis, and especially for this fight. I know RDA is sparring with Lyoto Machida, who has a very unique style and is also a southpaw. I think is a wise choice in many ways. RDA has fought many southpaws in UFC. I think he's fought 3 or 4 already, at least 3 or 4, I would say, and he has zero discomfort. He actually did a great job in all those fights. So I don't think it's a factor for the striking. And for RDA's takedown, I think it makes the takedown actually easier for RDA. Believe it or not, I think it makes the takedown even easier. So I would have to give that as another slight advantage for RDA. Now, when you're a southpaw, landing the left hand is easier, in my opinion, against the righty than it is another southpaw. That's my opinion. But again, he did such a good job. Conor did such a good job against Dustin Poirier, finding a place for that left hand that I would say it's a minor factor for him. Minor factor. He's comfortable against southpaws. Next one. Immortal Nexon. How many seconds do you think RDA can last? Well, I don't know. I think the first 10 minutes of this fight, anything can happen, guys. I'm telling you. Everybody's putting predictions and this and that. At the end of the day, both these guys can finish each other in the first 10 minutes. But after the first 10 minutes, it's going to be RDA's style that's going to start to shine. It's going to start to shine, and that means that Conor's left hand has somehow not connected. It's probably not going to connect. It's probably just not going to connect. If it didn't connect in the first 10 minutes and do its job, if that death card did not work but in the first 10 minutes, and I think it's even the first 7 minutes. If it hasn't worked in the first 7 minutes, guys, it probably will not work. So can RDA get knocked out in a handful of seconds? Absolutely. With that left hand Conor's got, anything can happen in the first 2 rounds. Anything, absolutely anything. Okay, David Wang, excuse me. In a recent interview with Ariel Helwani, RDA said that he can beat Conor anywhere, whether it's a jiu-jitsu match, Muay Thai, or K1. Was wondering if you also believe that RDA is stronger than Conor in all aspects of MMA, grappling, wrestling, striking. And if not, where does Conor beat RDA? Conor has better hands than RDA, in my opinion. That's where he shines. He's got that left. We all know. We're talking about it. We're beating a dead horse here. But his boxing mechanics, his jab, his positioning, his footwork in boxing, his slipping, it's just better. It's just better. RDA is more of a Muay Thai stylist. When we're talking about K1 Muay Thai, yes, I would say Dos Anjos wins if he can get past that left. He has more of a Muay Thai style, especially if we're talking about clinching knees and elbows. RDA is a powerful kneer. Like if he locks up with you and he knees you to the body, I think you can crush a man's ribs quite easily. He's a very powerful knee. He has a very powerful knee. So my answer to that is Conor's a better boxer. Next one, Chili New M. McGregor became far more of a pressure fighter against the featherweights. Against Aldo, and after he appears to be adapting his style to more counterpunching. Again, do you see this matchup as analogous to the new age version of Machida versus Shogun? I wonder if Dos Anjos was prioritizing kicking the trailing leg as Conor retreats. Well, I think what Chili New is saying is that when Conor fought, his first few fights in UFC, he was kind of moving forward, crowding guys, getting in their face and throwing punches. I think it's because he was bigger. He could walk forward and, he could take their shots. He could take their shots and they can't take his shots, and he's precise and he's also hard to hit. He's very elusive. When he fought Diego Brandao, he just walked him down. And in my opinion, when you walk a guy down is because you believe you have more power. If I see a guy marching towards me, it's one of two things. He doesn't know what he's doing, or he's got incredible power and he wants to trade. So Conor McGregor obviously has incredible power. That's why he's walking down the octagon and mowing down his opponents. But when he fought Jose Aldo, he fought very differently. He kind of sat back. He was picking and poking and waiting for Aldo to come forward. He was playing the counter attacker. Now, it's obvious that Conor can do both. He could be the pursuer or he could be the patient assassin. He could be the patient sniper. Which one is he going to be against RDA? I think he's going to be the patient sniper. And the reason for that is the takedown. You saw when he fought Mendes, he just walked up to Mendes like he didn't care. He even threw a flying knee, and he didn't care that Mendes took him down. I think he was expecting Mendes to take him down. I think he was like, let's just get it over with, the takedown. Let me get up a few times. Let's get all sweaty. Let's just, I think he knew very well that Mendes could very well easily score a takedown early on. And I think he was just planning on getting back up. He has five attempts at Mendes to put it on his chin. And he probably just didn't believe in Mendes' jiu-jitsu. He made a comment about it. I remember I was there at the press conference. He was saying stuff like he doesn't believe that he could pass the guard or he has any submissions whatsoever. So what if I'm on the ground? It won't be a big deal. I think he was saying that he'll just get up eventually and KO Mendes. I don't think he'll have that attitude with RDA. I think with RDA, he respects the takedown. He knows that the position that being on the bottom it could be a really bad position. He's not just gonna sit there and get stood back up. RDA is gonna work. RDA is gonna pass. RDA is gonna go for subs. RDA is gonna drop elbows. RDA is gonna be a disaster on top. He's gonna be a tornado. He's gonna be a horrible opponent. And I think Conor knows that. So Conor's gonna sit back and snipe. He's gonna play the sniper. And he's going to be very patient. So that's my opinion to you. I think Conor can fight both ways. He's very seasoned. But with RDA, he'll be wise and try to pick his shots. Master Cobra. I think RDA tries to return fire versus Conor, in and out pressure, and gets countered repeatedly. What's Conor's counterattacks to traditional Muay Thai attacks, like low kicks and push kicks and body kicks, Muay Thai body kicks? We haven't really seen that, I mean, we were supposed to see it with Aldo, but the fight didn't last. And Conor, he just threw one of the best shots I've ever seen. He was super precise. He was picture perfect. But with RDA, is Lightning gonna strike twice the same way? Maybe not, and maybe we're gonna get to see what Conor does against Muay Thai. I really don't know. It's just a big question mark for me. I haven't seen anybody use that type of Muay Thai on him, like Jose was supposed to show us. What does Conor do against this type of attack? I don't know. I haven't trained with him. I haven't seen him in practice against elite Muay Thai guys, and we're gonna find out, I think, with RDA. I don't think it's gonna end in 10 seconds or 13 seconds. I think it'll go a few minutes, and we'll see when RDA throws a low kick. Does McGregor just pull back, pull his leg back and try to let that leg just swing by, or does he throw that left hand, try to counter and catch those low kicks, at the heel? And but I'm confident that when he throws a low kick, Conor's counter, I think, is going to be that straight left. Why wouldn't he use a straight left? It's been working for him for so long, and it's in early rounds, in my opinion, when you put low kick versus power punch, straight punch, in the earlier rounds, the punch has more chance to land. It's stronger. In the later rounds, the low kicks work more. This has just been my observation over the years, as I've watched thousands and thousands of fights. The low kicks win in the later end of the round. The earlier, it's the puncher that has more chance. So that's why I'm telling you guys, if this fight goes past the first 2 rounds, even the first, I would say 7 minutes, the chances of RDA winning are going to be much higher. But Conor's consistently been winning in the first 2. So we'll have to wait and see. Estonian Hayes. All right, guys, I think this might be one of the very few last. Okay, what is your prediction and why? Guys, I did that one, so sorry, these are not organized. I'm just kind of freestyling this one. Okay, so next one. Portrait Phenomenon. What do you think is going to be Conor's next fight if he loses to RDA? I think he's going to go back and fight Jose Aldo because it's the biggest money fight. Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor 2. Everybody in combat sports is going to watch. I don't care if you're a boxing fan and you hate MMA, you will watch that fight because the build up to that fight will be colossal. Now, he also might fight Frankie Edgar, but he doesn't have the history and drama he has with Jose. So I think the powers that be will put Jose back in the limelight and build him back up, and they'll put him and Conor in a world tour again, and they will fight again, and who knows, we'll have to revisit that pre-fight analysis breakdown. I think Frankie should be getting the title shot, but at the end of the day, they're probably going to do what is the bigger money fight, and I think that's probably Jose Aldo. Next one here. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, here it's from SLB Sequeria. I think that the person who can win the first round is going to win the fight. What do you think? My friend, I agree with you. You're very... you're on the money, in my opinion. The one who wins the first round will probably win the entire fight. I would say the first 2 rounds because it's going to seesaw back and forth. They're both so volatile. They're both so dangerous. So I would say whoever wins the... No. I should rephrase. If Dos Anjos wins the first 2 rounds, it's going to be a home run for Dos Anjos. If McGregor wins the first 2 rounds and he did not finish RDA, RDA can make a comeback. I think it's that way. I don't think McGregor takes it in later rounds and picks RDA apart for 5 rounds. I really don't see it that way. So first 2 rounds, RDA's got to be smart. RDA's got to be extremely intelligent. He'll win this fight. Let's see here. All right, guys. That is the last one. So we've done 40 minutes. I'm supposed to be doing 30. I gave you guys an extra 10 minutes roughly about here. And last thoughts on the fight, because people want me to give a clear answer of who I think is going to win. I think in the first 2 rounds, it's 50-50, guys. I can't say that Conor has a better chance landing that left than RDA has a chance of landing a takedown. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments. Let me know. Is RDA going to score a takedown in round number 1 and stuff that left hand, and that left hand will never get a chance to fire? Or will Conor McGregor line up another shot and Lightning will strike twice and we'll have another 13-second finish or 20-second finish like Conor's predicting, and that he's going to finish RDA in less than a minute? I want to hear what you guys think. I think it's a strong possibility as well. I'm giving it 50-50 in the first 2 rounds. Round 3, 4, and 5, I'm giving it 80-20 to Rafael dos Anjos. For me, this fight can go either way. It's too dangerous of a fight for both guys. I would like to give you guys a straight up answer, but that's exactly how I would see it. And it's very important to always remember that the most precise experts, the most knowledgeable experts, can only give you probabilities. You know, if somebody tells you that it's 100% locked, you know, they just don't understand what chaos theory is. You know, we don't know. We cannot predict the future. Nobody can predict the future. It's only a question of probabilities. We are breaking down what's happened in the past, what has changed, and what we think might reoccur again, because things reoccur over and over again. So my prediction to you guys is, if Dos Anjos is super smart in round 1 and 2, he can win. If he's reckless, overly aggressive, he's going to get knocked out. He's going to get knocked out bad. So please, guys, leave your comments and questions. Leave your comments on who you think is going to win and how. At the bottom of this video, I always greatly appreciate doing videos for you guys. I wanted to give a special thank you to Quest Nutrition, who put me up to this and make this channel possible, and they support this channel